Greetings and welcome, viewers. Before starting today's program, my mom will be initiating the fourth episode of Side Talks with an important quote. Over to you, Mom.
Sai Ram, everyone. This is an important quote from Swami. It's more like thought for the day. So, a message from Swami to us. It says, when people become good, the world will become good. I think this is a really good quote, and today's guest speaker or interviewing Karthik, you are interviewing Srinivas, right? Srinivas
Yes.
Peddada.
Mhm.
We know him for several years, and he started his journey from Kansas as his career once he entered into it. I think before that he was in like Hyderabad, right? After that he moved to Kansas and later they moved to New York. And we have been seeing his growth in all areas, academically, spiritually, and even professionally. So it's more like we are all proud of you, Srinivas, brother Srinivas. And right now, I'm handing over the mic to you, Karthik, and you can virtually later you can talk to Srinivas and hand over the mic to him.
Sure.
Sairam, once again for creating
Sairam,
time.
Sairam Lakshman. Sairam, thank you.
Sairam.
Thank you so much, Mom, for the wonderful quote. Thank you all for joining us on the fourth episode of Side Talks. Today we have with us Mr. Srinivas Peddada. I will give a brief introduction on him before diving deep into the interview. Mr. Srinivas Peddada is a principal on General Atlantic's investment support team focusing on its portfolio companies in India, expanding on work he was previously doing for GA as a senior advisor. Before joining GA, Srinivas was an executive vice president and chief information officer at Bharat Financial Inclusion Limited, where he led a team of 300 plus professionals and oversaw technology strategy. Prior to that, Srinivas served as Chief Information Officer at Dun & Bradstreet in its South Asia, Middle East, and North Africa group. He has also served as a Chief Technology Officer at AIG and GE Money India region, in addition to working as a certified architect at IBM in Albany, New York. Srinivas received his Master of Business Administration from Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, his Master's of Engineering from Birla Institute of Technology and Science, and his Bachelor of Technology from JNTU. With that, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Peddada, for joining us today.
Sairam Khatib.
Sairam. So wonderful to have you, and we'll get dive into the first question of today's interview, which will be kind of more focused on the beginning, like your childhood. So, can you share some memorable experiences from your childhood that shaped who you are today, and any particular people or events that inspired you in those early years?
Well, thank you. Thank you, Karthik. See, this is, so it's all the grace of Lord Sai, Mother Sai. So what shaped the childhood? Who shapes the childhood? The mother, right? The mother is the one who shapes your childhood. And my mother, she is a working professional. She was a working professional at the time. She is teaching botany in a college, and she was a lecturer. Um, she used to every night to me and my sister. She used to, without fail, used to tell a story, Ramayana, Bharata, or whatever it is. Am I right? Every night there used to be a moral story, and I remember like countless nights, every night. Dad was busy with his work, and mom was busy too, actually. But she made sure that she tells us a story. I think that's laid the basic foundation. My mother is an ardent devotee of Swami, so the coming into Swami's fold was a very natural phenomena for us because she used to tell us that Shirdi Sai and Satya Sai are the same. In fact, as per Swami, September 28th, 1838 is the birthday of Shirdi Sai. So nobody knows. Swami told that this is Shirdi Sai's birthday, and today happened to be the Shirdi Sai's birthday. Yeah, as per Swami. And Shirdi Sai to Satya Sai, and coming into the Swami's fold, Sai centers. I think it's all fortunate. We are fortunate to be born and in that fold, and then it's mother who lays the foundation. I think my mother did it.
It's truly wonderful. Yes, it always reminds us, like our mother is the pillar of our growth from childhood to Essentially everything we remember in life is essentially what we learn from our mother, and they're the ones who have guided us on the right path. So
Yep.
that's very true. And then moving on to the next question, which is kind of more focused on the education side. So kind of more about your college. So what was your college experience like, and how did it prepare you for the corporate world? Were there any professors or mentors during this period that guided you?
And I'll tell you, it's all Swami all through the life, am I right? So there's nothing much in the college because my cousin brother is a mechanical engineer. My uncle who lives in US, who is a professor in AL, and he is a mechanical from. So it so happened that you need to do mechanical engineering. So I followed the path of that. Then I did my master's, and then see more than so when you go into the student life, you get lost with so many friends, and then you move around, you see places. It was Swami all along. So when I joined my first job, which is at one large Indian software firm right after the campus. Um, it was tough because I was not a computer science guy and it is all programming. And then it was very tough. And then I was fortunate to be interacting with a few Swami devotees in that time. And we learned, and that shaped. So to honestly answer your question, the engineering was more Swami as a mentor. There is nothing specific like you need to do engineering, you need to do engineering. You need to do masters, you need to do masters. In India, the way we are a middle class, right? So you have to get into a job, you have to get into a job. Yeah, once I got into a job, I think I was fortunate to have a few colleagues who really shaped because I was not a computer science grad at that time. But it is hard, not a non-computer science grad. And yeah, Swami has been there all along.
That's very wonderful to hear, especially that shift from mechanical engineering over to software. It's I know it's not an easy journey, but it was truly worth it in the long run for sure. I know. And moving on to the next question, it's kind of more centered around the professional side. So what motivated you to join the technology center and technology sector, and what were your initial expectations? And you can also share about your journey to the US and how that has been when it came to your technological growth.
Getting into technological sector, it is also driven by Swami. Right? I know the campus interviews those days. You go to the campus and you get selected. And then I got selected in the largest software firm, and then I got into it, and then struggle for learning because it is not it is a new field, it is not an easy one. And this is very upcoming in India 30 years back, am I right? It's very upcoming in India at the time. We was asked to go to London, UK for a project. I have no idea what the project is all about. We were asked to learn there. We went, we learned. And that time, everybody's destination, if you're a software engineer, is United States.
Yes.
So I got married. Very fortunate that my in-laws are also Swami devotees, and Swati, my other half, is Swami devotee, and then the whole thing gelled very well. I don't need to do any convincing act. Yeah, so it naturally came. So we continued our path. My in-laws were very big devotees, my mother-in-law, and so then we came to US, and the journey I came to US is Kansas City first. Very cold, bitterly cold, no idea. No idea. I mean, imagine Kansas City 1995, 96, 96, December 95. It is very cold. Life in US is very hard for someone who comes new. You need to learn driving. You need to know the places. And India has significantly grown in the last 30 years, right? So you come to India, now you see all these malls, big roads, long weekends, cars. But India is not like that. So we hardly found an ATM machine used to at that time in India. Now when we went to US, the highways, the automation, it's all used to wow us, and the disciplined life. So it took time, and we're fortunate we got to know some great people. Dad and mom were the first that we met. A week after we came, we went to some corporate party, and then we were looking for someone speaking Telugu, and dad and mom were there, and it was a
And those were
great
the
to know
mass
them.
tech days.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. That's how the US journey started. Yep.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, because I know, like, especially Kansas in those days, a lot of people moved to Kansas mainly because of mass tech, and they were either placed at Sprint or USDA or those sort of places.
Yep. Yep.
So, like, which account were you at when you were in Kansas?
Which one?
So were you part of like Sprint when you were in
No,
Kansas,
no,
or
no.
was it
I was with the US Department of
the
USDA
USDA?
Agriculture.
Yeah. Yes.
To the
Yeah, I know
master
it's
USD.
yeah, that's a very popular department in Kansas City. Like even to this day, it's still a place
Really?
where a lot of Telugu people work.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's truly wonderful. And I'm pretty sure back in those days, like, a lot of the technologies were different, right? So what was that environment like, especially like, the government sector, like, especially coming from India, what was that experience like?
It was, I'll tell you. So I was a mainframe. I was mainframe, COBOL, CSS, DB2 guy. So when I came to Kansas City, it was not mainframe, it was some System 36. It is like a primitive version of mainframe. And I was asked to do some documentation to start with. So I was very upset. And I was a good mainframe programmer. How did I land here? Why did I come? You get all that gloomy things for a month. Am I right? The homesick. I think Swami's grace we got over that quickly, but it was tough. So I was able to. So again, quickly they found my interest and they got me into mainframe. But technology is all mainframes, and that's where I worked. One thing, Karthik, is learning is a non-stop journey. Am I right? Even today, you have to learn. Till we learn, till we breathe last. The day we stop learning, then that's as good as then we don't exist. So it's mainframes, and then it worked well. And we had a small team. It's learning. I mean, like it is a very big struggle when you go to a new country like United States. But it was a very big struggle those days for any immigrant family to move. We now if you see anyone from India to going to United States, they know everything, right?
Exactly.
And then the life, it is not such a wow factor anymore. When you go there, yeah, you have a rental car. You have a rental car in India. You have a highways. You have highways in India. You have credit cards. We have nothing. So for everything for us is a wow factor actually. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's wonderful to hear. And then like, of course, I guess my next question would also be, it'll go on to like kind of like what your next steps were after, like, Kansas when you moved to New York, and of course after that. So the next question is, it's like, what were like the key experiences that contributed to your growth from an entry level position to becoming a CIO and CTO?
So as I told you, the learning,
Hmm.
working hard, and you need to have you need to do your duty. You work hard. You work relentlessly hard in your role. Very truthful, very transparent. Um, Delegate the work. Hire people who are better than you, under you, and then make them grow, and eventually you will grow. Am I right?
Sure.
So don't get into the petty politics as you grow up. You don't get into the petty politics. So I always tell the teams that so you as you move up, people throw stones at you. As you move more and more up, it won't touch you. It will only
Sure.
fall on them. But if you come down to fight with them to say why you are throwing the stones, then you get hurt. So is move up. So transparent, work hard, relentless. Uh, see, at the end of the day, at the top, it's his grace has to be there. I mean, like, there is the what he always says: you do your duty and take one step. I'll take 10 steps, but you have to take the first step. All right. So that is
True.
that's what it is. The next is all God's grace.
Exactly. That's very true because it's all truly like, following the right path, and that's truly what makes it happen. And of course, you worked for many of the great companies. Like, you spent a great time at IBM and all that. So like, like what was like your journey like at IBM, especially in like, it was the 90s and the 2000s.
The IBM, it is great. Dad was my colleague for a few years actually. We both were in IBM at the time for some time. I think early 2000s. I think he
Yeah.
was there and I was there. I joined in 97, 98, 97, I guess, 98. Uh, IBM was great. It was a great company at the time, and still I regard as one of the greatest companies in innovations. They innovated a lot of, in my view, IBM innovated a lot of stuff 30 years before the time. All the things that we are talking, the clouds, I mean, like they had all that. The messaging platforms, the emails, everything they had, autonomous computing, everything they had. It was a great experience. I got it by God's grace when I got into IBM. There's nothing called H1B. They never even know that they do H1B. What it is actually, they never know what is a green card. I mean, like, and I was like one of those few people. I mean, like, how do we get into it? It is all God's grace. The principal at the time said, I want to hire this guy, and he hired me. And then they said, no, wait a minute, you have to do H1. They said, what does it mean? I mean, like, so that was the journey. It was great. IBM experience was great. Um, I became a certified architect in IBM, which is those days is very big. I don't know about now, but those days is a very big deal. You will put your package and you'll be interviewed by people from all three regions. And uh, IBM taught me, IBM sent me to business school, uh, greatest company. We were fortunate that we were with Lou Gersner era, who the man who turned, and then I was fortunate to see him read his book, Who Says Elephants Cannot Dance, where he really covers the basics, where he tells that how a non-tech guy can lead a tech company. Very
Mhm.
inspirational. Um, that's IBM. It's always grateful. I'm always grateful for them.
That's wonderful to hear, especially like, that journey of IBM during their prime time when they were the leaders in technology. I mean, of course, now they're still very popular. They're kind of reinventing themselves, but at
Yeah.
that point in time, they were like, truly at the top of their game. And then like, and then kind of shifting more towards like, your experience after IBM, kind of like, of focusing more, I guess, you were more into the financial services side and all that. So, like,
Yeah.
how was that shift for you personally, kind of shifting more from like a pure technology company towards more of a, like, you're still focused on technology, but in like the financial services area?
See, so the opportunities, I got the green card, and it's always my desire to go and work in India. So I still have a green card at the time, and so this opportunity came to be the CTO in India. So I always believe, see, technology keeps changing. Every single day, technology changes, and right, when you have fundamentals right, the coding is always the if, then, and else. Right, the while do loops they continue to exist. Whether you code COBOL or a Python or Scala, whatever it is. So the logic remains the same. Uh, so we, as a head of technology, the most important role is the business. So you need to be a business savvy technology guy. So that's where I think that's where I did I think that's the difference that probably I think I created when I went to GE is like he's a technology guy talking business with the business. I'm not talking to the business leaders and how a WebSphere works. I'm talking to them that how can I make sure that their loan processing gets reduced from 14 minutes to 8 minutes. Talk to them only business, don't talk tech. And then underlying you work on the tech. So it's a great journey. I mean, like G Money was the time the one of the pioneers in real-time decision making and lending. I happened to work with a very good team, great experience, very young, early 30s, I'm 31, 32, be a CTO, leading a team. That is first time cabin, special. So it's all in India. So yeah, I worked, but I had to head back to US. Do you want me to come back to? They're willing to get me back to US because I have to complete my citizenship requirements. But there were some you know how do I get paid and all that. So we moved to AIG
Hmm.
as the CTO. AIG is one of the largest insurance companies. And
Yes.
then, so I'll quickly wrap up the professional part. So the AIG is largest insurer. They have. I was there, and I was in US, and I really wanted. Uh, I got my naturalization done. I really wanted to move back to India. Uh, that's when the Dun and Bradstreet has happened. Yeah. So
It's truly wonderful. And then like Dun and Bradstreet, like, of course that company as well is, it's also very well known. So like, especially like that was kind of like, your like second shift back to India fully, right? At that point in time. So
yep.
like, how did that feel? Like, I guess those were the days, like you were always at the right place when the real technology growth was happening. And that was like India's prime time for their technology growth. So what was that like, kind of being at Dun and Bradstreet and then seeing India's growth in technology?
I think this is where I would like to say, Karthik. So it was, so this is where I really want to bring in that spiritual angle to it. Yeah.
Sure.
In your interview, from professional to spiritual, let us get into that. So I want to come back to India. Yeah. I've
Mm-hmm.
been interviewed by one of the leading software firms in India to be the CIO based out of Hyderabad. Great. Everyone is excited. My in-laws were super excited because you're coming back to India, and then the office is like 300 meters from the home that I bought in Hyderabad.
Oh,
So
wonderful.
so all set. I met the biggest bosses. They said we need to announce that you're coming. It's a listed entity, and this opportunity from Dun& Bradstreet has come. It is in Chennai. And I went to meet the meet the team. So then I got down from the car, and there's a car coming behind. I think it is the car. It is the car of the CEO and MD. There's a Swami sticker in his car. I said, "Oh, so I don't know the gentleman at the time." I got down from the car, and he got down from the car. We went up, and I was walking through the aisles of the office, and there's so many Swami photos. I said, this is nice. So we met, and then the CEO happened to be a big devotee of Swami. And he hires a lot of students from Swami's university. I said, wow, we talked. And I was like, this interview happened because someone I know in AIG moved as a HR in DNB. And the girl has actually called me and said, why don't you come? Why don't you look into it? At the time, I was really firm. Okay, Hyderabad, big company, CIO. And went back. Something has done saying that no, I should consider this role vis-a-vis the Hyderabad role. It was a hard struggle. I mean, like the guys who were offering me an Hyderabad executive recruiters, and it's all done deal, am I right? It's all
Yeah.
closed. I got it one day. I was really one night. I said, I'm not going to take this role. Well, it's a no-brainer. Dun Bradstreet is very small. It's huge. In India, it is very small and it's huge. So I took the call, and then I called the executive recruiter in the morning. I called the hiring manager saying that, sir, I can't join. They were shocked, everyone. My in-laws were really shocked. What is happening, you guys? So I went and joined. uh, the company in September 2007. February 2008, there's a news that the company that I was supposed to join has just collapsed. The entire big empire collapsed because of some irregularities. Am I right?
Mhm.
Whatever the irregularity is, right or wrong, we nobody knows, but the entire thing started crumbling. What do you call this? But the miracle of Swami. Am I right?
Yes.
This is, had I continued 4 months down the line, I would have been in a company that was like crumbling into pieces.
Yeah.
And the journey for all the employees was very hard there.
Yes.
And guess what? I mean, like this, I call it as the miracle. See,
Yes.
the life is, or like every step is miracle where he guides. But this is what I really want to highlight.
Yes, because the thing is that I remember you shared this experience when you spoke for a Kansas Science Center, and the part I just now realized is that the name of that very company, it's like the name what Swami used to go by, when he was a child, and that name what they did was exactly the opposite of what their company stands for. I just now thinking about it. I feel like Swami truly saved you there by
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
yeah. So it's truly wonderful to see like Swami's hand in this journey. And then after that, I saw that like you also worked for many years for the Bharat Financial, and then I guess that's kind of more focused on the micro financial side, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so how is that like how's that journey been like especially being more focused on? I think this one is more focused on purely India itself, right?
Yeah, this is a great journey. I mean, like, so we'll come back to when you get into that spiritual angle
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
questions. We will
Yeah.
dive deep into the journey of Down Bradstreet and the Swami's
Sure.
interactions. I'll come
Yeah.
to that. But yeah, Bath Financial, nobody is very happy with me joining because it's a micro lender. The company was in losses. And I have taken against many people's, in fact, family. I remember my sister telling me that why are you joining this? This company is in losses. The stock was 1400 when it got listed under 50 rupees. I had a great team. I had a great manager. It's a professional run company. I still remember 4 weeks after I joined, I went to him and said, "Sir, the company has a car scheme for employees. I would like to buy a car." He looked at me and said, "Peddada, can you wait for 4 weeks?" So I went and told auntie that, we may have to go back. So we are not sure. From there, that became one of the most successful turnaround stories in the corporate world in India. The stock went from 50 rupees to 1200 rupees, and it was a 1600 crore, $200 million PAT. The assets were managed around $5 billion. It is a phenomenal journey, I can say, driven by Swami all along, helped me to see the real poor and what are the needs. We got into some very noble causes like sanitation, water purification, solar energy. It helped me to do a lot of those activities in parallel on my own with His grace. Uh, uh, you know, solar electrifying villages with solar energy, putting water plants, sanitation. So that was a great journey. That company, after a long run, becomes so big. You either can have to become a bank or to merge with a bank. The company decided to merge with a bank, and I got this offer to be a part of the private equity. So since I'm in the private equity, I can speak very only little. Yeah, this is a
Yeah.
great company, phenomenal company. General Atlantic is so continuing the journey. I don't know how long Swami is going to. I am an execution guy. I love to be part. I believe I believe a coach has to be a player coach till comes to a point. So the player is struggling. So I have a very great. So when during our era, when everybody loves Sachin Tendulkar, He's a great devotee of Swami. I loved Rahul Dravid the most. And
Yeah.
for me, he is a Mr. Dependable. Am I right? No politics, no nothing. And then he's turned out to be a great coach. So, and he's a player coach and someone who can pad up and bat. I would love to be a player coach, and Swami, I'd like play Swami to guide me like that. Yeah.
It's truly wonderful to hear that, especially the journey of where you were able to cover so many different, areas within technology and cover companies of all sorts, from major companies to major companies that focus on the real needy of society. So that was truly, wonderful. And now we'll be shifting more to the spiritual aspect of it. So I'll ask you this question. So how has your personal and spiritual life influenced your professional growth and leadership style, as well as in the community? And also, please share your experience serving as a visiting faculty at Sri Satyasai Institute of Higher Learning. So I guess this is the part where you can also dive back into those Dun and Bradstreet's days, like kind of the spiritual side.
Thank you. I was waiting for this question. So, yeah, the professional stuff goes on with Swami's. I'll tell you. So, we were, as I told you, we were in Swami's fort from childhood. Am I right? Mom used to take us to bhajans, and that continued. And then, when you are in your college days, you might be little irregular, but it continued and believed that Swami is the God, and you need to be answerable to him for every act of yours. And naturally, we do. Not every time we follow him, but every time, if you don't follow him, you feel pinching, saying that yeah, you need to follow him, follow his teachings. Uh, we were in US. In fact, someone we came. The first thing we asked is Sai Bhajan in Kansas City. Someone sold Nanda Kumar and Usha Garu's place. We came, and then we used to go. And then one day, mom said she would like to come. Mom, so we came. Used to pick mom. We used to come Thursdays or Sundays. I don't remember, one of the evenings. We used to come to your place, pick mom, and we used to go to the bhajan. And mom started singing. I still remember the song she used to sing, Purandara Ranga Vitala. That's what mom used to sing. And then after a while, dad started coming. And dad used to come with us. And then in those days, we used to pass a small card that tells that if you
Yeah.
want to sing the song, you
Yeah,
hold the
those
card.
I
Otherwise,
think it
we'll
was a
pass.
green card. Yeah, the green colored
Yeah,
card.
so we so it is like the dad never used to sing, and then we used to get the card, and then used to pass it on to the next, and then I was passing on to after a while, I was passing on to somebody else, and dad patted me back and said he took the card. I said, "Wow, he wants to sing," and I mean, like the entire floor got vibrated when he said Shankara Shiva Shankara Shambho. Am I right? And then
Mhm.
he became what a singer he is. And then and anyhow, so that is the journey with dad, mom. Just I want to share. And dad turned out to be a great singer. And we used to go to United India, and we used to see Swami, and that I used to call Doordarshan. Remember, right? We used to come. There used to be an airport, still an airport flight used to come a few times. I remember. And this is a long answer to your question. So I sum up the journey. So we used to come. We used to see Swami. We used to see Swami Doordarshan. We used to call it. People used to say Swami Darshan. Yeah, I got Swami Darshan. Always used to think, can I be a faculty here? So I used to meet people. Then I remember that once I came, I met the faculty and then said, why don't you write a letter that you want to be a faculty? And then I wrote a letter that I want to be faculty. And then they said, listen, you need to be 40 years old. You can't be faculty otherwise. I said, okay. We used to come see, and then we used to attend. Then we moved to Albany, and then the last day in we are last person in Kansas City. We moved to Albany. Robert Bruce and Rita Bruce came into Nandakumar's house to speak, and that time we were telling that this is our last person. We are moving to Albany, and then Robert Bruce said, "Hey, wait, Albany! I know someone in Albany who actually conducts the bhajans." And look at Swami's miracles. He gave, and then we came to Albany, and we started bhajans, going to the bhajans. So again, the Doordarshan continued. I was in Dun Bradstreet, I tell you. That's when I think I was so fortunate. I joined Dun Bradstreet. There's so many Swami's boys. Am I right? So many miracles. They interact with Swami and all. And I, for 6, 8 months, I used to listen from them. And then he never called me. I used to say I have to go to Parthi, I have to go to Parthi. This is me actually. We used to go from United States to Parthi, and here in Chennai, and so many Swamis, boys around, never had a chance. So once they said Swami is in Kodaikanal, I said, can you go? This is I think in 2008, I guess, Kodaikanal. So one boy said, sir, you come. I will be there, and if you come early, I will see whether I can put you in the front row. So I went there. The boy said, sir, you come here. We'll put you in the front row. We'll see whether we can put you in the front row if His grace is there. So I was placed in the front row, and Swami was going his own chair at the time, wheelchair. So that's the first time Swami looked into my eyes. I gave him some letter. He took it, and my mother-in-law gave some letter. He took it, and then I came out. Swami looked at me. I called my mom and said, Swami looked at me. Swami looked at me. That's my first interaction. I said, wow, this is amazing. That is like lifetime. Am I right? Then what happened after that was series of blessings. Am I right? Next time I went, I want to do something. I went. One of the boys took me to. He was instrumental in my first darshan. His name is also Karthik. So he is quite a senior guy now. He took me saying that, sir, I will take you to the computer science department. Let us see what we can do. We went there, and then they said someone has given them a big server, and they don't know how to virtualize it. There are 50 students who want to work on the server, because if you virtualize it, we can give everyone, the technology, right? So I I embarked on the virtualization mission for 2 days. We put a VMware software, we virtualized into 40 servers, we gave, and they're so happy. It's such a big server, someone donated, huge server. We virtualized it, so everybody was so happy. And then this boy said, he said, why don't you write this and put it, hold it, and then we'll sit in the line. Since you are teaching, you have come here, you will get this card where you can sit in that line where Swami comes. So I sat in the line, they gave me the card, first time in my life. Swami came, he looked at me, and then the boy said, sir, go, 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 go. So we went, and I explained to Swami what we did. I have no idea what is. I was just telling virtualization, that, this, or what, and then we took Padnam's car. When Swami left, Teacher left. I have no idea what has happened. Someone has to tell me that, sir, you have to come back. And but I'm already Swami left 10 minutes back from that place. And that was with the boy. The next time I was alone. Again, we're continuing the work. I was alone. I was sitting there, and Swami called me. I was getting up. Swami said, sit down. And then he called me. I don't know. I was getting up. He said, sit. And then he said, come. Then I went there and explained. And I said, Swami, please give me opportunity to do more such things. తప్పకుండా స్వామి పాద నమస్కారం తీసుకున్నా తప్పకుండా. And that was very blissful experience for me. And then that was, and I was a farm boy. And a farm boy is in the Patti, it is a farm, even a good farm. That means Swami keeps blessing you. When you say farm boy, the boys who get Swami's immense blessings, am I right? I'll tell you, Karthik, the biggest thing for me was in 2010. My parents were there in Patti. During the time, my dad got blessings with Swami, Parnamskar, just before I got. My parents were there. It was my birthday, and they are in Kulban, fully packed. They're in the audience. I was in that place where Swami used to sit, and then there used to be faculty on one side, and then whoever the celebrities who come on the other side. I never asked anything. I used to only update him on the work. Swami is a tough manager. So I used to update him on the work. And my parents saw it was the moment. And I continued as a guest faculty. I taught many things. Like from a Java programming to many things. See, at the end of the day, he wanted this to happen. He wanted to bless me. So my screensaver in the phone for last 14 years remains the same. Swami blessing me. Um, uh, that is my interaction with Bhagwan. Am I right? So that's darshanam, sparshanam, sambhashanam. So you need to be something I did in my purva last life got me to that. I look back, amazing experience. I mean, what can I say?
True. That's truly wonderful, like, to hear about, like, especially how much close interaction you had with Swami during the last few years of his physical presence on Earth. So, like, after Swami left the physical form, like, how has your experience has been, like, feeling Swami's omnipresence in your life?
You have to see we for when I went after Swami left the physical form and I went to US for a bhajan in Bridgewater, it was business as usual for the people there. For
Mhm.
us, it was little different. The United States, the people, the overseas citizens adopted much faster. For them, nothing
True.
changed. Swami is there. I felt very surprised, very happy to see that. For them, Swami is always there. For us, it
Yes.
took some time. No, Swami is not there. For you, Swami is always there. And that you need to believe that Swami is always there. I went to Perth a few times after that for analytics conference. See, at the one time I'll tell you, Karthik, it is when you
Mhm.
go to Perth, when you go to Tirupati, it is you and Swami.
That's true.
The erstwhile CEO of Dun Bradstreet once he told me when we both went, he said, Srini, there's so many people here, so many in different roles, so many are closer to Swami. But there's no point for you to become close to them to go to Swami. You need to be close to Swami. You and Swami. It's you and Balaji,
Exactly.
Lord Venkateswara, you and Balaji. I think that path continued, and then we look back. So yeah, Swami never left. He's always there. He will always be there. As you see, the quote behind my office is Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai uh, is omnipresent. He's an unseen guest at every meal, and
Yeah.
he's listener for every conversation in the house. Am I right?
Yes.
So that's why I mean, like you need to be always conscious about that and take every step.
That's very true, to hear that. And then, like, especially like on a personal front, like, of course, like, when as a kid, I used to see Swami and Prashanti Noyam, and then I performed in front of him and all that. And they
Yeah.
were like, of course, I never communicated with them directly, but there's been, direct contact a couple of times in a very close distance because of, of the pilgrimage and stuff. And like, of course, those were wonderful experiences, but truly, like, going to Prashantanoyam after Swami left the physical form, I was actually able to feel Swami's presence even more then than before, which was truly amazing. And then it's amazing to see how many individuals from across the globe, from places that we never even heard of, where you wouldn't even think Swami would have a presence. He's his message is going throughout the globe. It's truly wonderful to see, individuals getting into Swami's fold, even to this day. So I feel like, his messages are truly eternal, and he will always be there with all of us. So it's truly a beauty to, that we are all blessed to be in Swami's fold.
Right. You're very right, Karthik. Very right.
Yeah. And then before I move on to the rapid fire round, I'll be asking you a question regarding, like, advice to the future generation. So, what advice would you give to young professionals aspiring to have a successful career in the corporate world?
So the God is in every human form. It is your conscious. Yeah. Be very truthful to the conscious. Am I right? Very truthful to the conscious. That's I mean, like we practice every day. Not possible, but try to be practice as much time as you can. You love all, serve all, as Swami says. Help our hurt never, he says. But forgive is divine. These are all the most very powerful, impactful quotes. Try to see. I'm no way I'm telling that you don't be strict. You need to be strict. Am I right? I always tell Karthik, everyone that every organization invariably, I don't know, I told you this or not, the story of Shankaracharya and two villages. I'll take half a minute if it's okay with you to tell
Sure,
that. Yeah.
absolutely.
So the two villages, and then there is between those two villages is this barren land, and the two villages used to do trade and very happy. Shankaracharya goes to those two villages, they are very happy, and Shankara goes on his Padayatra, and he comes back one day, and both the villagers are very sad. And then Shankara asks them what has happened. Actually, the villagers said, "See, listen, we're so happy. The trade is going great between two villages. They produce what we need, we produce what they need. Everything was fine. But guess what? In that entire Babylon, there's a snake. It is biting people, and we stopped going there, and it is very bad." Shankara says, "Let me go and talk to the snake." And then Shankara talks to the snake and said, "You have got this life because of your old sins. And why do you want to go further down? You continue, don't be like this." And he preaches the snake. And then snake listens to him. And then Shankara tells both the villagers saying that, "Great, everything will be fine. You don't worry." And Shankara goes again. And then he comes back. Everything is hunky dory. People are so happy. Not a word of a snake. And nobody knows, nobody talks about it. And Shankara says, "Let me go and see what is happening." And then he goes into the barren land, and there is a bushes there. He see a moaning sound. And he goes in, and then he sees the snake, and then the snake is fully bruised. Blood is coming. And then Shankara says, "How are you?" And the snake says, "Can't you see? What happened?" Then the snake says, "See, you listen. You told me not to bite them. And everyone who is going there used to take a stone and throw at me." Then Shankara says, "Listen, I told you not to bite, but I never told you not to hiss. I told you not to bite, but I never told you not to hiss. So it is important. If you need to hiss if required. Otherwise, you will be a snake thrown stones. The world is bad, am I right? People
Yes.
people take you a very good guy, people will take you for a ride, but uh, understand when you're getting taken for a ride, and then hiss at the time. So that is the moral story that I always used to communicate to the team. Two things. One is that, and the second thing is as you move up, people will keep throwing thrones. Don't come down to fight with them. Keep moving up so that they don't reach you. Work hard, be truthful to yourself. uh, be conscious. I'm in a corporate world, it's very difficult always to be in that mode, but be at least conscious of what you are doing that is not right, probably, and then you keep correcting it.
True. In fact, I'm reminded of one experience that, Swami told, Michael Goldstein one time that, you can get, there's some, something's happening in Michael Goldstein's life, some, political issues. And Swami said, you can go into the gutters and fight, but don't. Because, it's kind of like, the throwing stones example is to just ignore the things down there and just focus on the right path and continue growing.
Yep.
And it's just amazing to hear the many analogies and all that and how everything connects to staying on the right path. And then I guess yeah. And then I guess we'll move on to the rapid fire round now. So I'll be asking you a set of questions, and then you can give any sort of answer to it. So what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Be silent, don't talk much.
And that's probably the one which Swami says a lot, speak as less as possible. But of course, that's difficult at times. But at least it's okay to speak good things. So,
Right.
who is your biggest inspiration?
My mom.
Very fair. And then, what book are you currently reading, or if you haven't, what's your favorite book?
So there's Sanatan Sarthi and Srivani, two monthly things. I read every that talk twice me in the night before I sleep. And what book I'm reading is What Went Wrong with Capitalism. There is a good book that has come. So that is I'm reading right now.
Oh, that's wonderful. So, and especially, I'd say in the last maybe 3 to 4 years, I think a lot of us are realizing the flaws of capitalism.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then, what's your favorite hobby outside of work?
Um, Service is something really excites me. When I'm going and do some service, excites me. When you come to hobby, I think as age catches up, Karthik, we need to pick up an hobby. I think I picked up a very good hobby is harmonica motorgan,
Oh,
and
wow.
that's so I'm learning and I play. My whole goal is to sing a song in the bhajan when I go to my hometown, and I'm close for that.
Oh, for sure. And then, yeah, whenever you come visit us, you should play it in our
So
bhajans
sing
too.
that, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then, if you could have dinner with any historic figure, who would it be?
If I mean, like, I can only relate to my work folks. I would love to have a dinner with Lou Guzner, CEO of IBM.
That sounds fair. Yeah. I mean, it'd be great to have dinner with him. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
there's
yeah,
so many wonderful topics and all that.
yeah, yeah.
And then, what's one thing you can't live without?
You can't live without
Yeah.
good food.
That's true. I mean, and so what is your favorite food, by the way?
The South Indian breakfast.
Gotcha. The traditional, like, the dosa, idli, upma,
Yeah,
dosa.
yeah, those are the breakfast. Yeah. Auntie, being a nutritionist,
Oh, yeah.
she keeps cautioning me. And I think I attribute a lot to her for being physically fit and
Yeah.
active. Because she, every time I eat something, she says, "See, listen, you're eating this." I said, "Oh, okay." So, but yeah, she's actually keeps me fit, and she
That's good.
helps
Yeah.
me.
Because my mom even told me one time back when you lived in Kansas that Auntie used to even limit you, like, apparently one of your favorite dishes were budgies or something. And
Yeah,
she
you're
would only
right.
limit it to like once every month or once every couple months, she would make it for you.
Yeah, that's it. And she continued. She did her nutrition. And she is a faculty here. So yeah, tough, but moderate. It's important. What you take is what you become. Satvik ahar, you're a satvik person. Tamasic
Yeah.
ahar, you will become that. I think that's very right, as Swami says.
That is very true. And then what's your favorite travel destination?
It is. I don't see. I don't travel. See, coming to New York and London and all are great, but for me, where you get comfort. I would love to travel to many of the spiritual destinations in India, but where I got comfort, Parthivan Swami's physical form was there. Waiting there for 3 hours for Swami to come and sit used to be such a pleasure. Now, uh, going to Tirupati, I go to Tirupati very frequently. Tirumala Balaji and see him close. I think these are the two places, and not more a regular travel kind of a guy to exotic places, but Tirupati gives me a lot of peace. Pati gives peace. These are the places.
Wonderful. I'm glad you gave your favorite travel destination as two very spiritual places. So that's wonderful. And then how do you start your day?
I get up very early at 5 o'clock. I'm an early bird, and most of you from US are early birds. Start your day, Karagre Vaste, Lakshmi Karmaje Saraswati, and come back. How my make my cup of coffee. That I love a lot, and then browse through the newspapers and start the day. And what United States has taught is how to be disciplined. And how to be on time, how to be disciplined, right? So, plan the day and execute it. But an early bird. I don't remember, Karthik, the number of times I got up after 6 o'clock. Maybe one or two in the last 30 years. I don't remember a day when I have not seen a sunrise. Even I come to from back from travel, say 1 o'clock in the night, 2 o'clock, and I still get up at 5.
Wow, that's amazing. It's like early to rise always. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
wonderful. And then let's see. Uh, we got two more questions of the rapid fire. So the next question is, do you have a favorite sport or a sports team?
cricket is my favorite sport. While I don't watch as much as I do, cricket is my favorite. Well, as favorite sports team is nothing specifically as a favorite sport team. And in India, you love India, but I do watch young teams all over. But I don't spend so much time nowadays because it's too much of cricket. But yeah, to be honest with you, we have grown in India. That time the only sport used to be cricket, and
Sure.
cricket is my favorite sport team. And then you take in inspirational characters. I was flying one day, maybe a year back, from there's an IPL season, and I have Sunil Gavaskar next to me, and I said, "Sairam, sir." Then he said, "Sairam." He said, he was a big devotee of Swami.
Yes,
So yeah, mm, that's what it is.
that's wonderful. And then moving on to the final question, what's your favorite quote or mantra?
Uh, Anything that Swami says is a mantra, am I right?
Mhm.
You true to your conscious. That is my mantra. True to your conscious. Be true to your conscious. That's the God. Is a God is conscious, and that is a mind, which is a mantra. True to your conscious. Stay to the conscious. You don't need to pray. You don't need to. You don't need to spend hours and hours before the God. True to your conscious. Serve, serve, serve. Serve as much as you can. Help anyone that you can help. Well, like Karthik, I say help is not donate the entire wealth. You make 100 rupees, give 5 rupees, give $5. Right? $100, $5. If you can help professionally someone, help. Uh, if you don't help, that's fine, but don't hurt. And I don't need to spend hours before praying and all, as long as you follow his teachings.
That is true. That's one thing is like, making sure that, it's like what Swami says is that like, hands that help are holier than lips that pray.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So yeah, it's truly wonderful to hear that. And then, with that, as we conclude the rapid fire round, so that is
Sairam
the
Karthik.
conclusion of the interview. Thank you so much for,
Thank you, Karthik.
being our
Sairam
guest.
Karthik, it is a wonderful that you gave this opportunity, and I was very less prepared, and I said, "Ki, let's." Even you are. It's so proud to see this generation of you uh, coming like into Swami's fold. Sumukh, uh, Will, Shruti in the Swami's fold, and one of our close family friends, son Raj, he got educated he's a US citizen, went to India, got educated, came back to US. He is into Swami fold. I see the generations coming into Swami fold. Continue. This is the best thing, and so proud of you, Karthik. I keep telling people, Auntie keeps talking about you. Continue what you're doing, and the Swami will take care everything else. But so proud of you.
Oh, thank you so much, Uncle. It means a lot. And, you're truly a huge inspiration for me. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And with that, I'd like to thank everyone for watching the fourth episode of Side Talks today. Everyone have a great day.
Thank you.